Hey, everybody. Y'all come on in here. Come on into the Victor Brooks Show Instagram Indie Fam series. Oh, thank y'all so much for joining us on Sundays at 1 o'clock and 2 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time here in the U.S., especially those who are able to join us on Sundays, which Sundays, as we know, it's usually our days to kind of kick back. It's our personal day to do what we'd like to do, you know? And for those of you who are able to watch us live, we thank you. But for our bigger audience as well, we thank you just as much for taking your time to come back and watch the show for our on our recorded live as well. I believe that my Wi-Fi is together. I believe my Wi-Fi is okay. Hopefully it is. And if my Wi-Fi is back, we are live, which I believe we are. It says, okay, now it says that I have my Wi-Fi bars there. But once again, those of you who are able to join us live and who will be coming on live, we thank you so much. But for our larger audience, I thank you so much who are able to join us at your convenience, you know, to be able to take your time and come back and watch these incredible conversations of these artists who have dedicated their time to come on and talk of their journey, talk of their artistry, talk about what feeds their soul as an artist, you know. And as you know, I'm a being an artist myself. I really do believe that artistry is the power and has the power and the medicine to feed our souls in ways that nothing else can. Nothing else can. And when we have an artist that takes their time to come on and talk of their journey and their dedication to their artistry, it's just fantastic. Like today's artist, oh my goodness, Cole Armour from Vancouver, Canada. I'm gonna say that name again, Cole Armour from Vancouver, Canada. Canada. An artist 100%. An artist personified. I can't wait to get into this conversation. Oh, I see y'all coming on in here lining up. Ana Ferrer, Marcia de Paula, muito obrigado, família de brasileira, muito obrigado por seu tempo hoje. Twin Walker, what's happening, my brother out there in Orlando, Florida? Thank you for joining us today. Oh, I see Cole is here. Cole is here. All right, y'all, let's get this conversation going and keep sending those emails. And like I mentioned before, we have now a unit. You know, it's about who you can surround yourself with that knows more than you do. And I know my lane. This is my lane. But when it comes to that technology and all of that other stuff, I know who to send it to. So we're going to edit these interviews down, and we're sending it over to our YouTube channel, the Victor Brooks Show YouTube channel. And we invite you to come subscribe and watch that as well. But let me click this today. Hopefully I did that correctly. And Cole will be joining us. There he is, ladies and gentlemen. How are you, Cole?
Hi, I'm good. How are you?
Man, I'm doing wonderful. Thank you so much for joining me today, man. And our people who are joining us live, you know, that's so special. But then our larger audience will be joining us on the recording, you know. But
Okay,
just the
sounds
fact
good.
that you're here, man, is
How's it going?
means a lot. It's going good. It's going good. And you're coming out from Vancouver, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Is the
Okay.
is the is the connection okay? I think it's all
The
right.
connection, it's not your side. My connection went out about 15 minutes ago.
Okay.
And so is my picture okay, or am I distorted? Can you hear me okay?
I can hear you perfectly good. It's perfect. Yeah, good.
Yours as well, man. Yours as well. I can't tell you how much I've been looking forward to this conversation, Cole. Really,
Me too. You know,
really.
I've never done a Instagram live. That
Really?
sounds so that sounds so bad considering I'm on Instagram, but I haven't done an Instagram live before, so
Let me
I
tell
actually
you.
didn't even know how to do it. So
Oh, really? Hey, Cole, you know, I call myself a dinosaur, man, because at 56 years old, I'm learning this social media step by step, brother. I really am.
yeah,
But I want to first off start by giving you much respect for your artistry, Cole.
thank you.
You are why we do this format. The more I research you, man, and the more I watch the clips that are on YouTube. And ladies and gentlemen, please go to find Cole Armor. Just put in Cole Armor in Google, ladies and gentlemen, and you'll see what I'm talking about. Um, Cole, take us back, man. How long did you grow up in a musical family? Has music always been a part of your life, brother? Tell us that.
I did. I mean, my dad was a musician, and he played a lot when I was really really young. His band was called McQueen, and I remember when I was quite little when he was doing live shows. He'd bring me up on the stage, and I just kind of stood there. I didn't really know what to do. He just kind of put me on the stage, but that was probably my earliest kind of little glimpse at that. And I really enjoyed um, what the music did for people and how it made them feel. Because I think music now has gotten to a point where it's not honest enough.
Okay.
Music isn't being
Okay.
written honest enough anymore. It's being written in too much in the view of business and what's going to
Come on.
sell and what's going to do the best, right?
Gotcha.
And when you listen to music that is completely honest and is written from a place that means something, that song takes you somewhere for those 3 minutes,
Yeah.
2 minutes, 4 minutes, and that's what music is supposed to do. And I remember that reaction from people when they played, and they were just so happy, and they were just so in awe of it. And when I was growing up, I wasn't very good at talking about things. I wasn't very good at talking
Okay.
about maybe problems that I had or things that were
Yeah.
on my mind.
Mhm.
So, but
Mhm.
I love to write. So writing
Okay.
was was a way that I was able to kind of talk about those things.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's
Yeah.
not like I didn't have a supportive family or loving family. I did,
No,
but
no. I
certain things
got
I
you.
didn't know how to communicate. But music was a way that I was able to communicate that.
That you were able to do that. You know what? I can identify with that, man, because I later in my life I realized that I'm an ambivert,
Hmm.
right? Meaning that I'm more comfortable alone. A lot of times I'm more
Yeah,
comfortable in my own thing, you dig? And then the artistry or the artist in me validated that in a lot
yeah,
of ways. And it helped me to be able to, I was that was my thing. It was my nest.
yeah.
And I want to hear you, man. The artists that watch and the artists that send emails to me, man, a lot of the things that you already hit on in the first 5 minutes of this conversation, I get those emails from artists of all ages. Am I good enough? Is this something that I should pursue? Is this something that I'm putting too much time in as an artist? What advice can you give someone that's, no matter what age they are, that's identifying with their artistry, brother? That something in them wants to create. What can you tell them, Cole?
Probably um, do not try and sound or be like somebody else.
There you go. There you
Because
go.
I think like everybody has, if you think about all these incredible artists that are out there that have done incredibly well, but you know who they are because they are what they are, you know.
Yeah.
And I think that's where a lot of the time people, they tend to, it's okay to be influenced by someone, like that's all of it. You're going to be influenced by things, by people, things all around you, but I think
Hmm.
sometimes they take it to a point where it's now you're trying to just be them, you know. But
Yes.
that's already
Yes.
there. That person already
Hmm.
exists. That's already been done, right?
Come
So
on.
I think
Come on.
they need to work with the instrument that you already have, you know,
That's right.
and try.
That's
If
right.
you're constantly comparing yourself to these other artists, you're just gonna, you have to work with what you got, because as soon as you start working with what you got and you just fully wholeheartedly just, it's just you, it
Yeah.
will succeed. It will,
Mm-hmm.
because
Come on.
you know, I think there are so many talented people out there, and they're so good, but they're trying
Come on.
so hard to be someone else. They're
Go
trying
ahead,
so hard
Cole.
to be someone that already has happened. And
Yes.
I mean, it's hard to do that, because nowadays, you know, we compare ourselves to um, other people and other artists, and you're always
That's
trying
right.
to be, well, if I want to be like that, I got to be like that. I have to be at that
Mm-hmm.
level, but you're not going to get there right away, you know.
That's right.
And
That's right.
you kind of, everything's
That's
got to kind of just happen at its own time, but you need to just be as you are.
as you are,
Yeah.
man. You know what? I'm going to say this. That was perfectly put because the mad props on your rendition of Love Me Tender. Now, I don't know how old you were. I don't know when that was recorded. Okay. But let me tell you something, man. Okay. Elvis is Elvis, and it goes
Hmm.
in perfect of what you just said, the
Hmm.
advice you just gave other artists.
Yeah.
Okay. But in my opinion, your interpretation and delivery of Love Me Tender was pure Cole
Oh, thank
Armour-ness.
you.
Okay?
Thank you.
So,
I
you know,
appreciate
and
it.
that just gives proof positive, man, that you're speaking from your heart. You know, you're
Yeah.
real. You know, so when you hear when you hear an artist that speaks to you, I know you've mentioned Celine Dion in your life, girl. We all have inspirations. I know I have them on my wall behind me. You know, I got Marvin, I got Stax Records, whatever. People you grow up listening to, and
Yeah.
people that you say, I like what they. When did it hit you, Cole? That wait a minute, I think I can sing. You know, when did that hit you? That
I
you know
don't
what? I
know.
heard this range, this coldness about it.
No, that's the other thing. I don't know. I don't think anyone actually does know they can sing. You know, I actually have a couple friends that I didn't know they could sing, and you know, we're hanging out and they just kind of like and they're actually very good. But I don't think
Yeah.
someone actually knows that they can, you know, or if no one
Okay.
ever told them like, hey, like, you know, maybe this is something you should do. But
Yeah.
I never sang or did music because I particularly wanted it to do something. There was many points in my life where I had, you know, I had the ability to be able to make music because that helped me. And if
Mm-hmm.
that was my only way of kind of, you know, some people like to paint, some people like to draw, some people, you know,
Right. Right.
I would sit down at the piano and I would just, for hours and hours on end, I would just play the piano and write, and kind of everything that was kind of in my mind. And you know, that was my only way of kind of communicating that. And if there was one or two people that, you know, heard that song and it, you know, it helped them, or if it made them feel better like it did for
Yeah.
me, then, you know,
Yeah.
then
Yeah.
then I succeeded
Got you, man.
in
Do
my own
you
way.
have a feeling? What? So it seems like Cole, there's a mission to your artistry, isn't it, brother? You have a. Do you have a like a certain mission or something that you want your artistry to do for the world or for the listener?
Um, I think I would hope that maybe music would be more honest again. And
Come
there
on.
were countless times that, you know, if I was in the studio recording and we were writing, or where they would say, hey, you know, maybe you shouldn't write this, maybe you shouldn't write this way, because it was too honest. And then at the time, like, I mean, I was a lot younger, so I, you know, I would take advice, and you know, but I think that the times that anything that I had done on my own, if it had done well, it was because I just, it was completely honest. I didn't leave anything out of
Go,
it, you know.
go ahead. Go ahead.
So, and I think people want that because they can connect with it. It's one thing to connect with a song that, you know, is, well, this is fun. This is, you know, this is a fun song, but there's a
Mhm.
whole different connection with music when you're kind of, you listen to it and you're kind of sitting there and it's like, you're lost in it.
Yes.
You're in a completely different place because you can connect with it, because what that song is about, what they have written about, they are being honest about what they are
Mhm.
writing about, whether it be in their life, an experience they had. It's an honesty, right? And
Yes, that's
that's
right.
lacking, I think, in a lot of music. There's very few artists out there at the moment that I could think of that when I listen to their music, it's just, it is honest, and it just
Yes.
makes you feel so, you feel like you're a part of it, you know, in like
Mm,
a really
man.
weird way. You feel like you're a part of it.
Yes,
Yeah.
man. Cole, brother, I knew it. I knew it. I knew that when we would sit down and have this conversation, Cole, I mean, I have to do this. Ladies and gentlemen, listen, Indie Fam and Positivity Posse, you know why we do this. We do this just for this reason alone. Artists, give us your voice. We
Yeah.
want to hear what's on your mind, y'all. If
Yeah.
you don't like it, tell us why. If you like it, tell us why. If you want us to join you in some kind of cause, give us where you're coming from and let us make that decision. You
Yeah.
dig? But what Cole is saying right now, y'all, painters, paint, poets, write the poetry, filmmakers, make the films,
Hmm.
artists, do what you do. Cole, is there something that you can give the artists? I counted yesterday, there were 25 emails from artists who were voicing the concern that I may not be good enough. I
But
may
see,
not, I look at the charts and
yeah.
I'm not good enough.
But see, that's where the comparing comes in. You know, with social media and stuff, we're all the time we're comparing to someone else. We're comparing, whether it be your body, your hair, your, you know, your music. If
Yes,
you're a singer, you're always going to compare to someone else. But you can't do that. And it's
right.
hard to do because it's just as human beings, like you're going to, and I do it all the time. I catch myself doing it all
Me
the time.
too.
Always
I
I'll
got you.
compare it to something, right? And
Mhm.
I
Yeah.
think it can't be looked at something that's like, well, that's bad. You got to stop doing that. I mean, that's just like human nature. But I want people to try and understand that what you have, work with that, because there's nothing wrong with it. It's true.
Oh yeah.
There's nothing wrong with it. But
That's right.
that's the problem. That's the little part of our brain that's going, well, no, it has to be like, so and so or like that. But they've
That's
already
right.
done that. That's done.
Yeah. Push
You
the
know.
boundaries. That's right. 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 And what keeps you pushing the boundaries? Because in your photo shoots, man, I've seen that much respect in your delivery of you is
Mm.
what I'm saying. It seems not just the music, but it's your whole thing, Cole, from what I'm feeling and from what I'm hearing. What keeps you pushing that boundary, and what's your whole thrust behind pushing that boundary, man? It seems as though if you're afraid, what are you, we can't see it, but you push, like something there keeps you pushing that boundary.
Um, I think I eventually just got to a point where it's like, okay, you know what? If I in my mind I thought this is how I want to interpret this, or in my
Yeah.
mind this is how I see it. If this is how I can interpret it, then I just did it, even if it was like absolutely like nuts. We
Okay.
just did it anyway. And I
Mhm.
think that's where people, they kind of yield sometimes, where they're kind of like, in their mind is telling them, well, no, I really want to do this, but maybe it's too much, maybe it's, and,
Right.
and then they don't do it. And then
Yeah.
it's like, so just do it.
Just do it, man.
Like,
That's
just
it.
do it.
That's just do it.
Yeah,
That's right. Nike, right. Nike doesn't have a total clamp on that saying. Just do it.
just do
You
it.
know?
Yeah.
How does it feel, man, when your fans, your supporters come at you and say, you know, Cole, thank you for what you're doing. You get that feedback that maybe, what does it do for you?
Makes me
You know what you give the public. What does that do
happy.
for you, man?
um I really, the times that people have come forward and said, like, like, listen, like this, maybe a particular song or something I did, and they're like, this
Yeah,
helped me. I In my mind, I don't even know what to do with that, because it's like, it's a really, really great feeling that you've done that for someone, but it's like I don't know what to do with it. And I
got you,
don't think,
brother.
and I think it's because I don't know. I'm glad that it was able to do that, because I
Yeah,
almost, because there's still that part of me that was like, I couldn't ever see what I was doing helping anyone, you know. And that comes back to that, you're comparing to other people and you're trying to be something else and not feeling like what you're doing is good enough. So I think that's why sometimes it's almost like a shock. I'm like, oh my god, it actually helped someone. It actually did something. So I but then I remember, like when I listen to music, like I love Amy Winehouse. I love, love,
Gotcha.
love Amy
Me too.
Winehouse because
Me
she's
too.
honest. Okay,
Yes.
it's honest
Yes.
to a
Yes.
T. She's honest, and
Yes, brother.
that's what was so beautiful about her work.
That's right.
It was just honest.
That's right. That's right.
So
Cole, I'm gonna go from the heart again right here, brother. Just in our conversation right now, Cole, I got a lot of respect for you, man. As an artist, first of all. First of all. I mean, your talent, of course, but your introspect, man, where you're coming from deserves the respect, man, because you just used it on Amy Winehouse, brother, but you honest, man.
thank you.
You know, a lot of people say keep it real. A lot of people say, you know, da da da, whatever. But you honest dude. And it's where you come from in your work and your music. When I watch the videos of you performing, Cole, I feel that. I can see that. I see this artist loves what they're giving us right now. Cole loves what he's doing right now. He's feeding us. We can feel it. You know, you can tell some artists that they're okay. I got 4 minutes, 3 minutes, lights, camera, action. You got it, and it's done, right? But there's some singers, and I'm not disrespecting the artists. Every artist does their thing. But when you have an artist that speaks here through their talent, that's lasting power.
It's beautiful.
Because
it's
you
wonderful.
take that with you as a litter. But you have a thing that talks to people. Tell me about your development of your interpretation as a singer, as an artist. Where did your thing of interpreting and feeling, is that something that just started flowing with you, brother, or is that something you worked on?
No, I think it was just because if I wrote something, it was because everything that was in that song was kind of what was on my mind at the moment. So maybe some of the stuff in the song maybe is a little bit like it's kind of sad, or maybe it's happy. And I think when you sing it and you perform, especially when I'm in the studio, there's been a couple songs that are actually going to be on my album coming up that I was recording, and I couldn't get through them. And I could write it. I wrote the music, and I wrote the lyrics, but when it came to actually recording it, it was almost like singing it, it was like real, you know?
Wow.
And then what I was writing about, and I couldn't get through it. It took me a few times to actually finally get it, but we got there. And I think that's the same when you're singing something like that live. It's all that kind of that energy and that, you know, emotion and all the whatever shit you're dealing with at the time that you're singing, and it's almost like a relief, you know. It's just like then it you know, then it kind of comes out, and it's and then at the end of the song when you're done, it's like everything's like okay again. In a weird way, everything's just like okay.
Yes. Hey,
know?
weird good. Weird good. That's right.
Yeah.
It's some people call it a release. Some people call it medicine. Some people call it, you know what I'm saying? It's like that. Who did you listen to growing up?
Oh, I loved Amy Winehouse, Celine Dion, love Celine Dion, Tom Jones. Come on, Tom Jones.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. That's right. Soul. That's right.
My family, you know, like they really, really love country music. So I listen to a lot of,
Okay.
I love the Dixie Chicks, Shania Twain, love Shania Twain.
Okay.
Tina Turner.
Oh yeah.
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 Can't be too sure.
See, that's what, you know, it's like, and you mentioned songwriting. Do you remember what your first song was you wrote, Cole? Your very first song?
My very first, you know, I don't even think it was a song. It was, I think it was like a poem. I wrote a lot of poetry. Like when I was in school, I really loved to write, but I wasn't necessarily writing a song. I was writing like a ton of poetry, just writing like random, because like I said, I didn't know how to talk to people. I didn't know anything that I was dealing with. I didn't know how to communicate it. So I would just write, and eventually got to a point where I turned them into songs.
Right on,
So
man.
all those
right.
things. I have a what do you call it? Like a briefcase, and it's full like of papers and clippings and things things that I've written probably from when I was like 9 or 10 to now.
Wow.
So, and I still go back. that some of the things that I wrote when I was about 10 or 11, I have used them in songs now. Yeah.
Man, 9 or 10. How old were you when you did the Ellen DeGeneres show, man?
Yeah.
We want
I
to kill.
was.
People have already, I when I threw up your promo, the emails I got was, oh, he did Ellen DeGeneres, all of that. But first, how old were you? Tell us about that experience, man.
I honestly, I think I was 12 or 13.
Okay.
I
Uh-huh.
honestly can't remember. I think I was 12. And
Gotcha.
I don't remember if it was someone in our family or someone else had sent them kind of like a collection of just like videos
Yeah.
and songs and stuff. And then eventually they had reached out to us and I went and did that. It was a great experience.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed it. It
Yeah.
was great. Yeah.
And being that young, did that set a precedence in your mind, being that young, for what is to come, or my expectations of what, as an artist, of what will come? How did that channel the future of where Cole was for what Cole wanted for his career?
I think at the time, I think I was way too young to really kind of like understand what was going on. I don't think
Okay.
and there was a break afterward. There was kind of that. I had done a few more, TV appearances and a few more shows, and it was going well. But then I kind of just, I stopped for a long time, and I didn't quite know until like last year. I was like, if I had continued at that point, I wouldn't have grown up properly. And I
Oh
think
yeah.
that was a really, really important thing to me, to stop then and just kind of, just go do things that like a 12-year-old would do. You know what I mean?
I
And just do
understand.
like, just grow up and experience things. Cause there's so many things that have happened in the past years now in between, that it was like the things I had to learn, the things I had to deal with. And if those things didn't happen, then I wouldn't be ready for anything now. There'd be no
Life.
way. So, but I think ultimately doing it that young, it did leave a bit of a mark in terms of like, I was really, really scared of disappointing people. And I was so worried to disappoint people for a really, really long time. And like little things, I would say yes, I could never say no, because I didn't want to disappoint people. And I think from that, just having that kind of expectation to be so great at something so young, I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing, but I think it depends on how it's portrayed. I think when
Mhm.
kids are kids, I don't think they should ever feel like, well, now, they shouldn't ever feel like they have to prove to be great.
Okay, brother.
You know what I
Go
mean? Like
ahead.
I think they should just grow up and just be great. They shouldn't have to be told like, okay, now for this or this or this, you make sure you're good, make sure you're great. Otherwise, you'll be scared of disappointing people. And I was for a
That's
long
right.
time. But other than that, I mean, they were all great experiences, and everything happens for a reason. I truly believe that
Mhm.
everything happens for a reason. So
Mhm. Mhm.
yeah,
Everything happens for a reason, brother.
nothing is
Come
so
on.
bad it's not good for something. Something my
Yeah,
grandma
that's
always
right.
says.
That's
There's
right.
nothing
Hey,
so bad it's not good for something.
but it's all, what I try to do, Cole, what you just said is so real, man. But I also try to pick something out of every situation, like the ones that just tore my soul out during
Mm,
my life at times, right? And at that time, I thought, okay, what the hell's it? All right, but then my artistry kicked in to where I said, I'm going to write about this, and maybe the next time I perform this particular song, I'll sing it this way.
mm,
If it feels at that moment the way that I feel or remember it, what have you, the tech, the vulnerability of an artist
yeah.
at such a young age, and then all through our lives. Tell me, I'm going to phrase it like this, brother. What is your interpretation of the importance of the vulnerability of an artist?
I think it's probably the most important part, only because it's scary though. Like it's not, I think maybe not for everyone, but I think some people, you know, being vulnerable is that's not an easy thing to do. I think everyone is vulnerable to an extent, but there's always that, you know, there's that little there's that line, you know. They don't
That's right.
cross over that line. No one, I don't think anyone is ever 100% vulnerable. And if they are, like, send me an email. Like, I don't know how you do that. I don't know how you're doing that, but I think with music, that comes back to, you know, if you're writing a song, like being completely honest with something. And if you write a lyric and you're like, yeah, that really works, that's a great lyric, but it's very vulnerable and maybe it's a little bit harsh. Maybe it's, you know, and you start questioning that, just leave it. Just do it. Because, like, you know, you have to be completely vulnerable. That's the only way human to human, two people can actually have that connection, period. If there is no vulnerability, then there's nothing. That's it.
Come on. Come on. Ah, there's nothing. That's it. Because when my mom used to make like a pot dish, whether it was chili or soup or, you know, a marinara sauce or something, when you get that spoon and it's like almost gone, but you scrape the bottom of that pot, you know what I'm saying? It's like, you know where I'm going with this, you know? That's sometimes all that's left, you know? But as an artist, that's why, man, I'd say the good and I don't want to say good and terrible, but the good, because sometimes it can feel terrible. The good and terrible of artistry is sometimes when we scrape that pot of the soul and the heart, and we feel like it's nothing else there. Hey, man, it's a song somewhere in there. It's a lyric in there. It's in there, brother. I know. I see you, brother. It's there. And it comes out sometimes when we're performing and we have no idea, wait a minute, why am I feeling like this, you know? Or it's going to be in there. It's going to come out, I feel. You know?
There are times where I kind of even come into like roadblocks where I'm like, okay, I really had to get this album finished. And I had songs that I had kind of chosen for it. And I was set, this is what I wanted. But then, you know, the time leading up to it, working all those songs, it was like, okay, well, then I'd come up with another one. I would write a new one. And then I was like, well, no, now this one has to take the place of this other one that we've already decided on. So the album just kind of got bigger and bigger. But I wanted to save some for, you know, I want to do an EP, like a smaller EP after the album. So right now I'm trying to determine which I'm going to leave out and which I'm going to include on it. But when those ideas come, it's like I'll be like scrambling to try and find anything because when it'll just come to you kind of like out of the blue, like, and for no apparent reason, and it'll just be in your mind. And I'm like, holy shit, I need to write this down. I need to play this. But that is the vulnerability in music, because those things come to you when you're in your clearest kind of mind state. I think your subconscious will kind of feed things out to you when you're not thinking about anything else, when things are just really good. I do believe that's how that works, because the things will just come to me like from childhood or whatever, just a random thing, and out of nowhere. So
tell us about the new project, brother. Please tell us about that.
So the album will come out on August 20th. It's called Here in LA. And I came up with an idea for Here in LA because I spent a lot of time there, I think, like growing up. So I've had really good experiences there. I've had bad experiences there. I've had, you know, memories and things like that. And I think a lot of the kind of landmarks kind of in my life leading up to now happen there. And from those landmarks, you know, everything else surrounding it happened. So it was a very like influential part of my life. So I
right on, man.
Here in LA.
Here in LA.
Here
And
in
I
LA.
can't wait. That's my second hometown. I'm between LA and North Carolina, but LA is my second hometown. And you know, brother, I already have a feeling, Cole, that we could talk and talk and talk, man. I love where you go. You know, I love where you go so much as your fans love where you go. Your fans, you got some good fans, man. You
Thank
know,
you.
your
I,
people,
I really, really love them too. I
yeah,
do.
right on, man, right on. And you know what, ladies and gentlemen, you know why Victor Brooks does this show and why we call ourselves the Indie Fam and the Positivity Posse. It's because we're a family of artists. It doesn't necessarily mean that we're independent in the business side. You all know that. We're independent, meaning that the independence of our artistry, what we personally have to say to the world, that's even more as the Indie Fam series that we do. And as Cole, you're our new brother and family member in Indie Fam and Positivity Posse, has just given us today, we zero in on what makes us us, y'all. And that's why when I get these, and I talk to somebody,
Mhm.
these goose pimples, you know, y'all, thank you when you have the time to come here, when you have the time to join us live and our bigger audience on the recorded. Thank you, artists. Keep recording. Cole gave us some priceless gems of his own heart today, his vulnerability, his creativity, his past, his present, what he's going to do in the future, and it's already begun for the future. I know you felt it today. So that means you follow, you download, you support. If he's performing live, buy that ticket and go experience it live. Go experience that Cole armorness that we are feeling right here,
I
y'all.
like that
Come
one.
on,
Cold armor.
man, brother. You not just a fan, man, but Cole, you got a new big brother, man, in Victor Brooks. And it's an honor. It's an honor,
Thank
brother.
you so much for contacting me to do this. I really, really enjoyed it. Truly, I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Cole, that means so much, brother. Thank you, man. Thank you for your time, and we'll
Thank
be
you.
supporting. Anytime you're doing something, let us know because we
I
want to
will.
throw it out there. Okay?
Okay. Thank you so
Peace
much,
and
Victor.
love.
Thank you.
You
Thank
got
you.
it, Cole.
Hey,
All
we'll
right,
talk
man.
soon.
Bye-bye. You got it,
Bye.
man. Bye-bye. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us today. Each and every one of you all that took your time to join us. And as you know, and as I already know, I see your hearts and I see your thumbs up and I see what you've been saying. And I hope our Wi-Fi continued through this whole conversation, you know. And you know, support y'all. Download. Artistry is what it's about. It's what the world needs right now. I have these pictures behind me for a reason, y'all, and it's called inspiration. People who have fed your soul, like these people and others who fed my soul over my lifetime. Something in their music, something in their artistry that I could take away and put it to and make it an ingredient in my own life. You do the same. Continue to give us you, no matter what, how you are able to jump and nurture your creativity. I myself, I need to get away. I need to be with certain people to be able to create. If that's you, do you. If yours is another way to do it, whatever your way is, do you. And keep on keeping on, y'all. And next Sunday, come on back and get some of this positivity on you. Take a bath in it, take a shower in it, scuba dive in it, skinny dip in it if you want to. But whatever you do, jump in that pool of positivity. And when you come out, sprinkle it on as many people as you can, because that's what it's all about. And we'll see you next time on the Victor Brooks Show Instagram Indie Fam series.